What's going on, everybody? The lag is getting worse and worse. Now I feel like the momentum's lost, but I think we got to hear the music. Hang on, here we go. Ready? What's going on, guys? It is January 23rd, 2024. I got Kyle from KylesReptyles on tonight, Kyle Schrandt, that is. And he's coming to us from Baldwin, Wisconsin tonight. Kyle's been around for a long time in the industry. And, you know, sometimes you got to have like a catchy show title for the whole, what is it? SEO, search engine optimization. So I put clown in there, but Kyle's working all kinds of projects. You'll see when he comes on, man, there's just rows of snakes behind him. He's got lots of stuff going on, but we'll talk clowns. We'll talk the different market segments. I like on his morph market, he says, you know, pet quality or entry breeder level, all the way to kind of investment quality animals. So, stick around. Kyle's got a lot to share tonight. I'm excited. Kyle's one of the my now local guys. I'm local to Minnesota now, and he was real good to me when I first. He's ever since I've been here, but he's been a good guy. So we'll catch up with Kyle tonight. Stick around. It's a good show. I got a few announcements. Trying a little different camera angle. The straight on camera was, I don't know. I rewatched the show and I was like, I look kind of weird. So I'm going to try like the newsroom side angle. You got to let me know. You like the little sideways, or I don't know. I'm going to mess with it. We'll see. I'm trying, you know, you always try and improve a little bit. On a serious note, got this kind of cool thing. If y'all didn't see on Chris's Snakes and the Fat Man episode, I think it was with Desiree, as a matter of fact, from Cold Blooded Cafe, who I'm very thankful for. If you use frozen thawed rodents, use promo code properroyals, and they're going to hook you up with 11% off. Chris is doing a quarterly charity fundraiser benefit, and for a variety of causes. But one of the causes is I think it's called the Hero Company. Excuse me, man. I could be a little bit better prepared. The Hero Company, and they sell a variety of bracelets and things that you can buy that will raise money and represent veterans' causes. And Chris is focusing this first quarter on that. And I picked one up. I like it. I like the cause. I think it's good. And I think that it's important in the community that we do good things, both in our community, but outside of our community as well. So what's cool, though, is if you buy something from the Hero Company, each item goes towards a different specific cause under their umbrella of a charity. This one helps to pair a service dog with a veteran suffering from PTSD. So this little deal is like a magnetic hematite stone, and you could buy them from the Hero Company. But anyway, no surprise to anybody, I'm not really a jewelry guy or a bracelet kind of guy, so I jumped in for the cause. If any veterans out there would like this, let me know. Message me. I'll send it to you. It's yours. No problem. I'd love for you to have it. The Hero Company. You can check them out. Chris has a link on his page, or you can just Google the Hero Company. All the money is going to go to the Hero Company. So I'd love for Chris to get some credit and recognition for it. But at the end of the day, it's all going to go to that good cause. So thanks for spearheading that, Chris. I think it's a good initiative within the community. So check it out. Go get yourself a bracelet, guys. Speaking of Chris, Jen from High Viz was on his show, High Viz Python. She's in the Proper Royals Patreon. So who knew all these little overlaps? Go check out her show from Sunday night. I know she had a good time. These are her words, not mine. She says she's a ham and she enjoys being on, and that gave her a real opportunity to do that. So check it out. Project REDLINE, these patches, man. Have y'all heard about this? REDLINE shipping. That's Robin at REDLINE. He has commissioned some of these custom sling bags, and then they're going to have little like Velcro place where you can stick on these PVC patches. I will have Proper Royals patches with me at Tinley. We'll roll them out there, and I don't know if I'm going to give them. They'll certainly be given away for if you buy anything, I'm going to give you a patch. Otherwise, I don't know. There might be $2. I'd say $1.50, but then I'm going to have quarters and $2. Anyway, check this out. Got the first ones, Portuguese pythons, hooked me up with a little care package today. That's Danny and Renee. There it is. Danny and Renee Rocha out in Chino, California. They got two varieties. They have like, I should have shown this one first. This is the 2D. It's trying to focus on my eyes. There we go. Right there. It'll focus now. Oh, no, that didn't do so well. Okay. Well, the 2D doesn't focus very well. The 3D one over my eyes. There we go. Portuguese pythons. Those are big 2.5-inch patches there. Pretty cool. I got a t-shirt from them as well. But if you want to get some patches, check out Danny and Renee. They're not going to be, I don't know. They're not vending at Tinley that I know of. You never know. They could show up. But if you want to get some of their patches, check them out. They're pretty cool. Mine will be in. I did order them. There it is. There's the 2D one. I did order mine from, I could do not a whole show, but a segment. I screwed up the ordering. I landed at the wrong factory between the language barrier and I thought Kunshin was the name of the factory. It's the name of the town where there's all these factories. So I was like, oh, Kunshin factory. This must be the one. So I don't even know if I did not order from the right factory that was recommended. So I don't know if I'm going to get my patches or not. We'll see. The money is sent. I'm not sinking any more money into it. So we'll see. But I should have patches at Tinley. I can tell you what I will have. It's time for me to place another shirt order. Sorry, I should have this all together, and I don't. The lady shirts are Next Level brand, and I forget the brand of the men's. But if they're the nice quality, broken in, basically they're not the cheap t-shirts. I could order them from a Chinese factory and I'm not. These are I don't know where they're made in it, but they're the nice t-shirts. If you've seen the Proper Royals t-shirts before, they fit. And the ladies are ladies shirts. They have a ladies cut. And I can't remember. I don't think they have a V. I think they're round neck. Anyhow, I'll find out. I'll bring them for next week, but probably in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to order. So if you want to do a pre-order, let me know, especially if you have a particular size. I kind of order because it's what sells the most. I order basically men's small through extra large and ladies extra small through large. If you want another size, shoot me a message. If you know what I mean? If you got a special request, let me know because I can order it one off and I can take care of it for you. There'll be $25 shipped. So that includes shipping to the lower 48. If you want those, let me know and I'll give you the payment information and all of that kind of thing. But I'll get you a shirt. I'll have the shirts in my hands. I'll have them in my hands by March 1st. Put it that. How about that? March 1st delivery. Let's say the pre-sale, let's go through February 4th, 5th, somewhere in there. Shoot me a message, properroyals.com, or on Instagram is fine as well. And you can find those links in the LinkTree link down below. I got to talk to Kyle about this. What do you guys, I've had, this could just be total coincidence. Morph Market sales are picking up a little bit. And I haven't done a single auction. I don't know if more eyes are on Morph Market, like they go for the auction and then you kind of wander around. It's like going to the mall for a sale and let's see what's over there. They still have Spencer's in the mall. I don't know. You go get a trinket or whatever. I'm getting some sales and I sold a $40 male het clown, more to ship to New Mexico this week. And I sold something for like $750 too. And I'm not saying it to brag. I'm just saying that it's across the spectrum. Not that that's a very expensive snake either. Some of y'all probably rolling your eyes. Like, no kidding, you're not bragging at them. I'm curious. Let me know what you're seeing on Morph Market these days. That's I talked to another breeder locally. He was like, yeah, it's picking up a little bit. And in 2 weeks is my next show, February. I got 3 shows in February, 2 in March. I think it's a total of 5 shows in 7 weeks or something like that, with Tinley and Green Bay being 2 of the 5. In 2 weeks, I'll be at the Cold Blooded Expo in Minneapolis, February 4th. Come check it out. I think that's the announcements. Thank you, everybody, for being here. 33 of you here out of the gate early. It's hard to engage the camera and look at the comments and who's here. And like I say, I'm trying not to just like stare down. So, oh, you know what? One more announcement. I do see Jared here from Jaw Dropping Morphs. Next week will be Jared from Jaw Dropping Morphs. I got a, I keep bringing up Chris again. I got a message from Chris sometime in December, and he was like, "Hey, I heard you banned people from your show if they were in my contest." I was like, "No, that's nonsense. I've told everybody I didn't think I could give an even platform to everybody, and anybody who has asked, I've given an invite to starting in January." Boom, here we go. So Jared from Jaw Dropping Morphs will be on next week, and we can defeat another horrible rumor of how awful Chris and I are together. It's not true. Don't believe it. Yeah, Jason says he's seeing more activity on Morph Market as well. Phil, look at this. Maybe we're onto something. Beast Morphs, yeah, you and I kind of see eye to eye on that. You know, we work for the sales. I'm with you. It's been a good stretch for me. I'm fine. Yeah, tax returns are coming too. I don't know if people just forgot about their Christmas debt or didn't. I don't know. I'm not complaining. Yeah, Phil says I've sold well in January. January's good. We got to find out, see what Kyle says. Yeah, so when I first moved here to Minnesota, which is in one way not that long, and in other ways I'm surprised I've been here as long as I have. We closed on this house September 15th, and my son actually started school the 1st of September here. So coming up on 4 full months, just over 4 months. Anyway, Kyle was out of the blue, emails me, "Hey, hope the move went well. Glad to see you here. Glad you'll be vending. Glad to have you in the marketplace." None of the, exclusive old boys club, none of that stuff. It's been a great market, been a great community to jump into up here. I've been really pleased with it. So and I got to be really open. You guys don't see what goes on behind the scenes sometimes. I'm pretty good with keeping track of who's on what episode and where. And last week I double booked Kyle and Mike from Herp Collectors, but I didn't realize I had double booked them. So I already had made the thumbnail, put the announcement out with Mike, and Kyle messaged me. He's like, "I'm ready for Tuesday night, man." And I'm like, oh no. And when you at first you're like, "Man, this guy screwed it up." And I went to look back at the messages, and it was me. I screwed it up. So I have to preemptively say thank you to Kyle for his patience. He's a gentleman, and I'm glad that we did get him on tonight. I totally would have flipped a coin or talked to Mike or see who we could put where. I'd already had the advertisement out. Anyhow, without further ado, please welcome to the Proper Royals stage, Kyle Schrandt from KylesReptyles. Kyle, how are you tonight, man?
I'm great, Adam. How are you?
I am good. I can tell you face to face. Thanks for your patience. And man, I was so mad at myself and embarrassed. Like, there's nothing worse than writing "yeah, you're right, I screwed it up," and well, I never know how people take it.
Right. If you remember, I actually, I'll take a little bit of credit as well, because I messaged you needing to reschedule our first date that we had scheduled. Yeah. So you had given me 2 more dates, and I'm like, okay, let's do it the 23rd. And the other date was the 9th. So I think,
somewhere I had in my head, I was like, this is definitely the 23rd. And it was like, anyway, thank you for being here, man. Thanks for making time. I know that everybody's busy in this world. By the way, audience, thanks for speaking of being busy in the world, like that there's 40 of y'all now that'll come just hang out, listen to us yap. I really, really appreciate it. So thank you. But thanks for being here tonight, Kyle. Take a minute, introduce yourself to the people that aren't familiar with you, and give us, we like some stats, and tell us what you're working with, number of animals, that kind of thing.
Sure. Well, I started breeding snakes in general in 2006. It was my senior year of high school. I had 2 corn snakes, and I told my mom, I'm like, I'm gonna breed these corn snakes and get some babies. And she's like, yeah, Kyle, okay, whatever. I actually I did it straight for 3 whole months. I had them in Vermation in a closet. I rotated ice packs. I mean, I was dedicated. I ended up getting a clutch from that corn snake. It was 28 eggs, And if I remember correctly, it was like 24 of them hatched. I sold all 24 on Craigslist, if you can believe that. But yeah, my mom was like, I can't believe you got those things to hatch, you know, whatever. So that kind of got the bug going or whatever. I didn't.
How much did you make from that first clutch? Like, were you like, did you like flaunt it to your mom?
Yeah. So $30 times 20, $30 times 24 is, I'm pretty sure,
for a high school senior. Yeah. That's was it, $700.
Yeah. I mean, and it was funny too. I mean, you met a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, you met people of all walks of life. Everyone wanted one. Some are, you know, young kids who are just getting their first snake because they're corn snakes, perfect option. And then you have, you know, like I say, people all walks of life coming over to your house to buy baby corn snakes for $30.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was quite the trip, that's for sure. But yeah, I didn't go to ball pythons until I think it was like 2010 or 2012. I decided to start working with those. I was working with everything: corn snakes, kings, milks, carpet pythons. We kept green tree pythons for a short period of time. Those are still my love-hate relationship. I want one every day of the week. I just don't want to put in the effort every day of the week. So I don't own any green tree pythons anymore for that reason.
The effort of breeding it or just keeping them?
All around.
Yeah.
You know, I've kept them enough to where it's not like it's a difficulty, but it's not as easy as keeping a ball python. You know, if I had a smaller collection or I had area in my house to keep a really nice tank, I'd probably get one. I mean, it's too hard for me to not. I look at Morph Market once a week. I just look to see what are they selling for this week. I'm never gonna buy one. I'm not gonna buy another one, but I kept them, and we went straight to ball pythons. And it must have been 2015. I think I was finally like, ball pythons are my jam, and that's just what I'm going to stick to. So I sold anything that wasn't a ball python. I sold it off. I just went to the deep end, nothing but ball pythons. And I'm still pretty much that way to this day. We have a tortoise and we have a black king snake, but other than that, everything else in the collection is a ball python.
Yeah, and those are pets primarily for you then? Not the ball pythons, the black and the tortoise.
Yeah. The king snake is kind of a dual purpose. You know, if there's ever an issue with, you know, a baby ball python that doesn't thrive or something.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
Not that it happens, right? I mean, it does happen, but it's not a common occurrence. But I feel so, I don't know. I honestly feel better letting the black king snake have that fail to thrive baby ball python than I would culling it off or whatever you do with, you know, baby ball pythons that fail to thrive. So
yeah,
you know,
I appreciate you bringing that up. I mean, it is the reality, and it tends to hit people. It's not something you realize right up front because it takes potentially years to get your first clutch, and then I don't know why, but odds seem to have it that everybody's fine on their first 1 clutch, 2 clutch, 3. And then suddenly you're like, wait a minute, this baby ain't gonna make it. And I think out of, you know, 150 last year, like 3, yeah, I mean, it's a low percentage, but it happens. And I'm always kind of torn with that. And, you know, you feel terrible about it. There's a guy I sold a snake to, maybe he's watching it. He's an awesome dude. I'm not at all stereotypical of what you would think of what I'm about to describe. The guy's got 27 cobras here in Minnesota. And I was like, I didn't even bring it up, but I was like, one day I'm going to talk to this guy and be like, here's the deal. I got a few that ain't going to make it, man. And like you say, I feel better, you know, and look, everybody listening, and especially if you're new to this, you know, that's after feeding it rat tails. That's after giving it a supplement. That's after, you know, some of them, you know, it's not like we're just like, oh, screw that one. You know, that's not the case. They look, it happens. It happens. It happens with all animals. It happens with humans. I know. I don't like to say it. Nobody likes to think of that, but it does. So,
you know, in the wild, those snakes get picked off. You know,
right?
So, you know, I've had the king snake for, I think we've had her 3 years, and she's had 4 snakes. So that's a pretty darn good number considering we strive to do, I don't know, maybe 150 to 200 baby ball pythons every year. So that's a pretty you know, it's a super small amount, but like you say, it makes me feel so much better that it's at least getting utilized in some fashion, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
Instead of just being
Yeah.
wasted, you know?
Right. Right. And it
Yeah.
is, it's uncomfortable to talk about and all that, but again, think of what would happen to it in nature, whether it gets recycled by a hawk or by ants. I mean, Mother Nature don't stop. It's going to happen to us too. It might take a little while for those ants to get through the box, but it's going to happen to us too, you know? So
that's true.
there we go. So sorry, carry on. I first up, I love the entrepreneurial story. I like I remember I had hamsters for some reason. And then one day I had like 24 hamsters and I was like, I'm gonna take them to the mall. And the mall bought the albinos. They gave me $2 a hamster to buy them in like 1992. And I was breeding more. My mother was like, absolutely not. We're not going to have any more hamsters in here.
Right.
There was already another batch of hamsters cooking. She didn't realize, I didn't realize it either, but we had more hamsters. And then, and then we had no hamsters. Then it was all the hamsters are gone to the pet store.
No more hamsters. Can't do that.
No more hamsters.
Yeah. But yeah, so 2000, what was it, 15, I said we kind of jumped straight into ball pythons, said that's all we're going to work with. At this time, you know, it's still something that I'm thinking like, yeah, I would love to be able to have this be like my full-time career and, you know, just breed snakes, produce awesome living art and being able to sell it to people who are like-minded people like myself. It was a win-win situation. But we weren't really taking it serious till maybe 2017 when we're like, all right, you know, we've ended Tinley Park. And it was kind of just like an eye opener. Like, all right, you know, sales are picking up. We're actually keeping track of our sales instead of just taking all the money you get from the baby ball pythons and putting it right back into the collection. You know, you have no clue what you're making, if you're even making anything. So in 2017, we took it serious. And I think it was 2019 when we got the LLC. And we're like, all right, like now we're reporting to Uncle Sam. This is the most legitimate we can get, you know. We're not full time, and that's okay. We don't need to at this point. You know, I've got 2 kids, a wife, a full-time job on top of the snake, so it's like it's all right. You know, I'll let this come naturally. I'm not going to give up when you know, the market seems to be slow or I'm stressed because the kids don't want to go to sleep or. You know, I still come to this room every single night and I still clean snake poop every single night and I still enjoy it. So I'm just going to keep going. You know, if it's a full-time gig later on in life, perfect. If not, I'm happy to do it as I do it now.
Yeah. When you're making nice stuff too, what are some of the, like, obviously I brought up clowns and like say some of that was a little bit of the get people to click because everybody's got opinions on clowns, but you got a lot of nice stuff working. But what would you say? Did you have heading out of the gate in like 2015? Did you have like a project that really excited you, or were you dabbling in many, or what was your, or did you have a mindset? Was it just keep doing what you've been doing?
In the beginning, it's the classic scenario of buy every snake that looks pretty to you. I have absolutely no game plan whatsoever, you know?
Right.
But yeah, once I saw a picture in Reptiles magazine, Casey Lasik. That's kind of an old school name, but his name was Casey Lasik. He produced an Enchi clown. And I saw that Enchi clown and I was like, that is insane. And at that point, we bought an Enchi het clown male from Mark Bailey, who's in Minnesota.
Yeah.
And he told us, he throws his genetics really good. And I'm thinking to myself, like, well, there's no science behind
that. Science for that's exactly. Yeah.
But you know, so I bred them to 2, just maybe a clown female and like a het clown female. So and he gave us a whole bunch of Enchi clowns. And the funny thing is today I have no Enchi clowns in my collection. My years have completely turned. Clown is still number 1. But as far as Enchi, I'm liking pattern. So leopard was my next big one where I was like, all right, leopard and clowns are awesome. Spot nose, obviously, you know, everyone's got to have spot nose in their clowns. But yeah, other than that, you know, we've kind of carried the collection with red stripe stuff. And then we have genetic stripe clowns that's another project that we're trying to continue on with. But Nothing else that we're like dead set into. If it's not clown related, we have recessive stuff, lavender, hypo stuff. We've got desert ghosts. We have other recessive projects, but clown is the main goal, and that's been the main goal since day one, I think.
It's funny you bring up the Enchi clown, and Phil in the audience too. He said Enchi clown is still running. I love it. I think most of my visual clowns are Enchi something.
Sure.
Now my hets are a little bit different, but I'm still just a sucker for a super Enchi clown, or even just an Enchi clown baby is just, oh, they're fantastic. But I was looking,
it rips off the pattern, and in the beginning days, that was what caught my eye. I was like, I've never seen a clown ball python look like that. So that's really what caught my eye. But now it's like with all the pattern that's around, I go for the pattern now.
Well, and it's funny. I like both. I like a heavy pattern, but I like colors too. I mean, I was looking at I've got a female super Enchi that's breeding this year, and the gold just stays so gold on those super Enchi clowns. And even today, I was just staring at her going, how do I brighten that gold? How do I accentuate that gold? What am I going to do to make that gold even brighter, even get rid of the bronze? I want it bright gold kind of thing, So you got a pretty massive compliment right there when Joe says anybody's the best out there, man. The red stripe line. Tell us about this red stripe line you got. That gets my attention. What do you got cooking on that, man?
So completely organic. I still to this day, and thank you, Joe. Adam, I know you know Joe well now as well, but shout out to
excellent
Joe,
guy. Excellent.
The whole JSA crew. Nice things happen to nice people. And when you see them hatching nice snakes, there's a reason it happens. So if you guys don't follow JSA, go ahead and follow JSA. But
mind-blowing stuff in that room, right?
I get myself all excited talking about Joe and Sheena, but the red stripe stuff. So I'm listening to a podcast. I can't tell you which one it was because I truly don't remember, but it was Justin Kabelka was on it. And the person who was interviewing him said, what's the next big gene? What's the gene that everyone's sleeping on? And he said, I think there's a ton of potential with red stripe. So I pick up the phone and I call Outback Reptiles, which for anyone who doesn't know, they're the first people to import genetic or red stripe and prove it to be genetic at all. I talked to the guy there. His name is Mike Schultz. I don't think he works there anymore. But he's kind of like Outback Reptiles face for social media, I guess. So I reached out to him. He's like, hey, I don't have anything right now, but I do have a person that I'm buying their collection back, and he bought a red stripe possible granite from us. So if it's in good condition, I'll reach out. I go, perfect, sounds great. So I held out. So a couple days later, Mike's like, she's here, she's 400 grams, and she's healthy. If you want her, I'll sell her to you for $450 shipped. And I go, no problem. Send him the money. I get the female. She's exactly as he described. Ended up growing that girl up. I bred a leopard clown to her the first year. I got 4 eggs from her, and I only got 1 red stripe out of the whole clutch.
Ooh,
and it was a male. It was a male, so at least I knew it was a red stripe het clown male. I bred that red stripe het clown male to a gamut of things. And we produced 4 visual red stripe clowns that year. We sold all 3 right away and kept the nicest of all of them. And he's still the nicest one to this day that I've produced. I think the first year we produced him was maybe like 2018. It was the year after Justin unveiled the magma, because I remember when Justin unveiled the magma at Tinley, I was just about to hatch my hets. So I was like, oh cool. Yeah,
you're ahead. Yeah,
I'm only a year behind him. No catching the guy. So, but yeah. So then people just started commenting on him, like asking what else was involved. Is it yellow belly? Is it super red stripe? That type of thing. And I was honest, and I told them the same story I just told you. And I was like, the only thing that's a potential is granite. And I do think it's probably granite that makes them, a little bit different than the other ones you've seen. But I've never produced a visual granite.
I was going to say, but
it doesn't attach to it.
yeah, it doesn't, it would separate at some point. I mean, then we go back to is there science behind that comment? You know, like, you know, like, wait a minute. And look, things happen. And that's why we have all these mutations in genes. Like they do happen.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot to believe it happened right on that one animal that, you know what I mean? Which it could have, it always happens on, you know, it could, but, and I'm sorry, I jumped in. So, but you think that it's the red stripe and granite combo that you're seeing in yours, or is it a, you know, is it a nice line breeding, you know?
Yeah, maybe it's literally the only information I have to go on. So when I look, like I say, I can hatch out red stripes, you know, red stripe clowns and red stripe, you know, het clowns, because I'm not putting red stripe into anything other than clown right now. I can see the difference in quality within. Doesn't matter what clown female I use that male magma to. He throws, you know, good stuff and what I would call, you know, average red stripe stuff, no matter what he breeds to.
I see. Okay, so you do see you see a dichotomy there. There's two of them that you're seeing, though.
Correct. Yeah, I've got your classic looking red stripe. You know, if we have red stripe hats. We got a regular one, and then you can tell when it's mixed with granite. The granite just makes it that much better. It's more burgundy. It's more, you know. You should look on the, you know, on my page about the story. I had a picture of all of it, because I actually originally got rid of that female that I got from Outback, and I'll tell you, I gave it to Joe and Sheena. I sold it to Joe and Sheena because they wanted it. And I was like, absolutely. Like, I didn't need red stripe anymore. I had a red stripe clown male. So I'm like, you know, before I knew there was anything special, I'm like, I don't need this red stripe female. And I would have loved it, you know, to go to one of my good friends in their facility. So it was a perfect scenario. Just last year, Joe and Sheena didn't need it, and I'm like, I definitely want it back. So I took it back. So she's actually in my collection again.
Okay, cool. All right.
She's not going anywhere now. Now it's like, okay, like, I don't even care if she breeds. Like, she's done so much for my business name, the direction my collection goes. It's like, I don't even care if I don't breed her. I'm gonna breed her, but I was gonna say,
I'm intrigued now. Like, I don't have red stripe, and it's on my list of like I try and. You talked about earlier, you can't just buy every snake that looks beautiful and all, and, you know, and having a plan and looking forward. So I try and stay disciplined as to what I want to buy, and lace and red stripe are two of them that are on my list this year. I got to come by on in February and check out what you got for options for me.
Yeah. I mean, we have hets right now, but we always breed, you know, the same. We always have people that want them, and I can never produce enough. So
gotcha.
He goes to, you know, the visual magma that we're using is still going to plenty of females this year. So there's potential in a couple months for actual visuals. Cause like I say, we've only got hets now, but definitely look. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'll take a look.
I don't mark up a price. They're regular price. I go in Morph Market and I see where they're sitting, and I price them right there. I don't try to, you know, I don't try to claim they're anything different. I just know that they are because people keep telling me they are. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been done before that people attach their name to a line, or, you know, you could, what are some synonyms for high intensity? You know, you could do a little something with it, man. I think you got believers in the audience. That's for sure, man.
Maybe I should think about it. Maybe we'll do a poll. Some people can start submitting answers.
You've done your time, man. I say roll with it, man. I mean, trust me, people have done it with less encouragement and less backing than that, right?
Yeah, that's true. This is true.
Shoot, I'll have to. I'm actually gonna look before that. That literally is. I took the time to write a budget this year to plan out when spending was going to be. Joe knows. Joe and I did a deal this week, and I was like, look, man, that's not on the budget till July. We got to work out something else for it. And he was like, that's okay. We'll work it out. I'm like, all right, cool. Then as long as you understand. So I got to figure out when it's going to be, but I've got some money for it. So let me take a look. That'd be cool to have one, man.
For sure.
And honestly, a het would be all right because I'd be interested in working it into some other things as well that I've got going on. So even
Right.
you might even get a sale for a male hat. Could you imagine like that?
Whoa.
That'd be whoa.
Yeah.
So all right. So what's like your obviously clown red stripe. It's done great things. What do you like it in? What do you see it in? Where do you see opportunity that both red stripe and clown haven't gone to? I kind of going down this red stripe rabbit hole just because of obviously your notoriety with it.
Mm-hmm. I don't think there's anything that's bad that you can do with red stripe and clown. I think red stripe does accent clown really well. If I were to add things to it, I guess I would like to see more stuff done with special. I mean, like Joe and Sheena got the Pompeii. That's the special Pompeii.
I've seen that one. Yeah,
you see that snake, and you already know like that's a smart direction. So special and stuff like that.
Yeah, that is a smart direction.
I love red stripe and fire. One of the first snakes that really got me onto red stripe, I believe it was a super red stripe firefly. And that snake was insane. And I've seen more fire and red stripe mixed. And although sometimes you can be like, all right, what is that? What isn't that? But if the red stripe is screaming through that fire, it makes the red stripe really nice. Sometimes you can get red stripe that just doesn't, it's not the greatest example.
I was going to say, there's sometimes it's pretty subtle. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Those aren't the ones I'm talking about. But the really nice example, red stripe with fire, I really like that kind of route. And you don't really see it done much. So that's another avenue that I would, say that I'm interested in. Yeah.
I like fire. I really love fire. The only problem with fire is obviously the white snake problem with those. And vanilla gets around it a little bit, but I do like fire a little bit better than vanilla myself.
I would agree,
but in clowns, it gives like that. It's weird because it's not a screaming yellow. It's not this like blinding light brightness, but it's almost like this creamy, leathery color and texture, man, that I think fire and clown is one of my favorite, like build everything on top of that as far as I'm concerned. But then you run into the white snake limitation, so I'm always torn when it comes to fire with clown. I've got some vanilla clown stuff that I'm working. So we'll see if I don't have the same, you can tell in my voice, I don't have the same excitement for it though. Like I gotta figure out how to get around that or something. I don't know. I'm still working through in my head,
Right. Yeah. The thing about fire, like you say, with the all white snake thing, that's the reason why a lot of people don't add those style of jeans too. But think about this: how many people put yellow belly into their stuff because it makes the snakes ridiculously better? And if you can have a super form of that, obviously it's not crystal white or like the black-eyed leucistics, but it also has a super form that's white. But we love yellow belly and everything. So I mean, there's room for improvement for sure.
Yeah, I've gotten around just on that specific, and you're right. I have yellow belly and pied primo, right? Yeah, it's fantastic, man.
Right.
No, I've gone down the gravel route. I think I've got 9 or 10 super gravels. So like, I really want to work the super gravel project. I don't mix it with yellow belly just for that. Sure. And like, even in the red stripe, I'm like, I wonder what a red stripe and a super gravel would do. And I'm like, I don't think that's been, so I'm like, let's try some things. Yeah. Always, every one of us in the audience are all churning our heads going, what do we do? We're always working on stuff. Yeah, I don't have it. That's cool. I'm actually excited, man. I want to pick one up from you. I'll figure out how to get one from you, man. That'll be cool.
Yeah. Well, you have my info, so.
Oh yeah, exactly. I got you here. We're good, man.
You got it.
So, what clowns? Where do you take clown from here? I know that you said you had, and I saw a picture actually of one, and I'm assuming you made it, but maybe it's an investment of your G-stripe clown. Tell us about that project, what you're working. I know Dale, matter of fact, and Joe, for that matter, are both cooking up some killer G-stripe clown stuff.
Right. Yeah. We made our own hets. We bred a genetic stripe to a leopard clown, I believe it was. And we held back. Well, we had 4 females, 2 of which actually wound up at JSA's building, and then the other 2 stayed here. And then I also held back a male. So I literally produced my own double hets, bred them together. And the first year we missed, but the second year we hit a genetic striped clown male, and he's actually breeding this season. So
Oh, cool.
He's just going back to mom this year. Just got to grow up more hets, more double hets that have different combos in it. But like you say, JSA has got them over there, so I know where to get some more if I need them.
Yeah, I saw, guys, if you haven't said this, I was going to say it's a selfless plug. It's not. It's Joe's stuff. His logo's in the video, so I'm not taking any credit. But yeah, I saw his the clutch of triples, man. The clown G-stripe DG.
Yeah.
Leopard. Speaking of fire, leopard fire, I believe.
Yep.
Joe, you can correct me. I think it's leopard fire. I was filming and my finger like brushed on one of them. I was like, "Oh, sorry, sorry, I didn't mean to." He's like, "Calm down, man." Yeah, I didn't mean to. No, he didn't tell me not to. In my mind, I'm like, "Adam, don't get near those animals, man."
Right. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where else I'll take the genetic striped clown stuff. I'm gonna wait and see. Leopard would have been an obvious route, but I saw those and I wasn't super pumped about it. So I'm glad I didn't try to I didn't get any leopard double hets out of that first pairing. But I like fire, would be nice. Obviously, you can't go wrong with red stripe stuff. I like spot nose in it. I think spot nose is starting to bring back some of the pattern that the genetic stripe takes away.
I was going to ask,
that's a great one too.
I haven't seen it. Does it start pulling? Because like G-stripe and clown, you sort of start to get these triangles down the back.
Yeah,
you got like the lateral stripe. And so does the spot nose start to bring those down the sides, or what does the spot nose do on those?
It makes the pattern a little bit more wild. It's not as predictable. Like you say, you got those perfect little triangles that go down the back of the genetic striped clown. Spot nose kind of starts to throw the genetics a confusing little, what am I supposed to do here? So
right.
Yeah, I like spot nose in it.
Yeah. There's another good example of a super form that can come with challenges. So we all use it, and we've all got it. So maybe I need to just shut up about fire. We've figured out the rest, haven't we? I mean,
yeah.
I can do this. All right. I'm coming around. Like I say, I love fire really in almost anything, but I certainly love it in clowns. So, and for the record, so Steven, so I put up the thumbnail 2-3 nights ago for this show. And Steven at Leviathan Snakes, he says, well, I'm editing a video right now about whether it still makes sense to buy clowns or not, because they've been so prevalent in the market for so long.
Sure.
And God is my witness. I told him, I said, Steven, I don't want to hear the opinion right now. I said, actually, I'm not even going to give my opinion because I got Kyle coming on, and that's what I've advertised the show as. So clearly, obviously, you're still excited about clown and looking forward to the future of it. Give us the pitch. Why clown? Why stick with clown? There's tons of clown out there.
Right. To be completely honest, I can't really disagree with, I say everyone should invest in what they like the most. That sounds cliche. Every breeder comes on and says, do it for this, do it for that. But it's true. Like, you want to be able to produce stuff that you truly like. And then, the byproduct in which you sell off that can then feed your collection or fuel your fire, if you will, keep that chugging along. I like clown. That's why I always say, hey, let's keep working clown. But that doesn't mean that I don't like Desert Ghost and Lavender and stuff like that too. Buy into that stuff as well, because the combos that you can make with that stuff are equally as crazy as the clown stuff. My pitch to clown would be the opportunities are endless. That's the biggest thing for me, is that look at what other breeders have made with clown stuff. You don't really see it with a lot of other genes. And I
Right.
think there's probably a reason for it. I think clown just naturally grabs people's attention. The only one that I think actually grabs more attention than clown would be pied, because I think people really
Really?
like that white stuff. I don't know about you
Yeah.
with the local shows, but if I have a white snake, usually it's a pied. If I have a white snake in my display, I put it in the middle and in the center tub so that everyone
Uh-huh.
sees it, because it's always the one that people point at. And I think it's just, for people who maybe, keep a small number, or just keep them for pets and don't really care about the genetic portion, the
Right.
eyes are, you look at that snake right away. So, I
Yeah.
mean, if you're not going to buy into clown, recessive is the way to go, then maybe pied's the way to go. But in the same token, like I said, genetic stripe, desert ghost, lavender stuff, they all hold potential.
Right. I think, and for the record, I totally agree with you. So, and I'll take it even more excitable than you were about clown. I tell people that I breed, I'm not saying I, not speaking of the community, but I break things down into color, contrast, and pattern.
Mhm.
Clown has all of those, and it has an amazing variety of them. You
Yeah.
can have in a just a vertical, just a lateral part of the side of a snake on a clown. I'm just looking at it's just something as simple and silly and exciting to me as a banana clown. There's yellows, oranges, pinks, and if you get real, I got one that's got just not the gene, but a literal red in the top dorsal stripe going down the
Sure.
back. And I'm
Yeah.
like, we've gotten so used to this because we've seen it for so long. But
Yeah.
to somebody who thinks a ball python is this brown and black blob that sits there, this is mind blowing. It's
Yeah.
incredible to
Yeah.
process.
Yeah.
And I still have that excitement. And look, I can't say I've done the math because the math is impossible to do. Yeah, we've seen a lot of clown. We ain't seen nothing of what it can still do, though. And,
Right. Right.
Steven's talking about genes that are just breaking out right now. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Nyala. I've seen it. I like it. Who's to say that just one new ingredient into the clown potion? I
Yeah.
don't mean
For
I
sure.
don't mean a mystic potion. I mean the
Right.
pot that we're cooking up here
Right.
of
Right.
genetics.
Yep.
And and it's sort of the same with pied. I've grown a little bit bored with pied, which is hard for me to say because pied is what excited me the very most. Everything
Sure.
I just say, multiply it by 10. I remember seeing a pied 25 years ago going, I mean, and it was like 50 grand. I was like,
Mhm.
look at that thing.
Right.
And then 4.5 years ago when I figured out, wait a minute, I can just go buy one of those pieds and then actually hatching it. I'm like,
Yeah.
look at this. And so I'm still excited about it, but pied I'm having trouble with because pied is so difficult with pattern.
Yeah.
Clown gives you, I wouldn't say predictable because there's always variation. You never know, like for a spot nose clown, you don't know what the heck you're going to get. You know, it's going to look like a spot nose crazy clown, but it's not going to be all that predictable. There's a whole lot
Sure.
of volatility with it.
Yep.
With pieds, the patterning gets a little bit tougher and there's not that many exceptions to it. I
Right.
still have exciting dream. I think, you talked about the all white snakes. I'm hearing more and more about the all black snakes, which we really haven't quite seen yet, but we're pretty
Mhm.
close to an all black snake. But I think like panda pieds are cool and they come with the challenge of, the super cinnamons or the duck or the kinking and all that. But we're finding ways around that. But I think if you put a DG on top of that or a hypo panda, whoa, holy cow, so
Yeah.
I'm back to excited just because there's new things that we haven't done yet because there's a ton of breeders out there, but mathematically we haven't covered a whole lot of ground in what's literally
For sure.
possible from
Yeah.
240, 250 genes now we've identified. Like
Yeah. Who knows?
there's massive amounts of
Yeah.
opportunity out there.
Yeah.
So, but I think, like I say, if I were to go to like definitions, pattern, color, contrast, it's really, really, really hard to beat a clown. It
Right.
still is really hard to beat a clown in
Yeah.
all three categories. So,
Right. Yeah, it's very true. Like, I think that's why a lot of people like Desert Ghost, because Desert Ghost, not only does it, personally, I think it gets better with age. You know, like they don't look like a normal ball python in a tub. So just its base morph isn't, you know, bad to look at. And, you know, when you talk about color and contrast and all that stuff, like DG has that potential as well. And I think people
Right.
see it and then they, you know, they buy into it because they see the potential.
And I say it endlessly on this show, but I don't know, maybe other things do exist, but I don't know many realms, industries, hobbies, whatever we want to call it, where we are literally in the middle of like a real life, fast paced evolution that we get to be like. I know this is never going to be as earth shattering as, you know, the internet developing from the mid 90s to the mid 2000s to the rest of the world. But to us, like, that's what this time feels like. We're going at warp speed of incredible evolutions, and we're right in the middle of it. Like it's now, it's all around us, man. So it's a cool thing, man. It's a cool time. Yeah, Dale makes really good points. Like, stuff keeps coming around too. Like, even just Ultra Melon Clown or Ultra Melon Pied. I just got in. I got a 1.3 of that project cooking for this year. You know, there's amazing stuff. Yeah, he says, yeah, there's just nothing out there. That's what I got excited about Super Gravel. Super Gravel hasn't even really been explored. Like, we just saw that Axanthic Super Asphalt. Amazing, right? Like, I want to see that in Super Gravel. I want to see that with Hypo or DG on top of it. So I'm still bullish on the whole thing, but I definitely am bullish on clowns too. I don't think we've gotten very far with clowns.
Then he brings up Ultramel. That's another great example. Lavender and Ultramel both we slept on forever. And we've got a couple lavender females on the shelf, and then Ultramel stuff that's head for clown, and then Posset Hypo. But I didn't like that stuff for the longest time. And it's kind of a naive thing to do because I kind of let other people do the legwork, and then all of a sudden they'll show me something that's super crazy, and then I'll be like, oh, I should probably get into Ultramel.
Yeah, you're like, if
you did the work and just got creative and got your Ultramel stuff and started breeding it for what you thought would look cool, because that's what that other person did that hatched that cool Ultramel that made me change my mind. They got Ultramel and they're just like, what route do I want to take this?
Yeah, they figured it out.
Yeah, exactly. So it's when you mean like the opportunities are endless. Like, you can buy literally any ball python and breed it to, you know, another morph and create something cool. You know, even with co-dominant stuff.
Right. Yeah, that's so I wrestle with this because, of course, like, you've been at shows, you've heard the live shows. I mean, the in-person shows, and then you hear all the shows on the internet. And everybody's talking about the next big gene or the next this or that. And I really wrestle with it because I'm like, man, in my lifetime, could I really truly work just everything that's already in this room?
Yeah.
And then I really start to think, like, even me, even little old Adam, I got tons of stuff in here that I could do that's never been done.
Yeah.
And like, sometimes I just go, you know what? You just got to sit tight, man, and let the process play out. And I'm not good at being patient, but I just get fidgety.
Me neither.
Yeah. But I think no reason you should have kept up with this, but for the longest time I'd sworn off rodents. I wasn't going to raise rodents. Absolutely not. I think part of why I'm enjoying them so much is that I have something to keep me occupied instead of thinking I'm like not keeping up in ball pythons. Like, now I could be like, hey, you guys just take care of yourself. I'll go. We'll breed some rodents too. They're a little bit faster, you know. So
gives you something different to look at, I guess. Focus on something different.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll come a day when I come to. I wouldn't say hate. I only have ASFs, and I have one rack of them. So I mean, to me it's a lot, but it's not that much. I've been actually surprised at how easy it is to assimilate that work into my. It was harder getting the shed set up, and then, you know, the harsh winters up here, especially the past 3 weeks, and the double-digit negatives was a little bit concerning, but it helped. The installation worked, the plan worked, the heat worked. Yeah, it was good.
What is the room at temperature wise?
73.
Nice. Yeah, ours are Ours are just in a finished garage, right? It's got insulation and all that stuff up, but the door opens, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we try to keep it at like 50, and
Oh,
we're
yeah.
happy to keep it at 50 without the energy bill going crazy. So
Do
that
you have?
I'd love to be able to, you know, make it more insulated, but you know, luckily the rats still produce for us in the
Yeah.
garage at 50, but it's slow.
Do you have any ASFs in there or not?
No, we only do rats. I used to do a little bit of mice for like the baby ball pythons when they wouldn't want, you know, rat crawlers or whatever. But this year we never had to. We never had any that needed mice. So I didn't, you know, at the end of every year we usually end up feeding off the colonies that we have and just getting brand new colonies, you know, fresh. And once that happened, we never bought new. We bought new rats, but no new mice because we didn't have a need for them.
Yeah, I think I bought 3 mice this year, kind of thing. Joe maybe even knows better than me. He's who I bought it from. I just called him. I was like, hey, I need 3 or 4 mice, and just like you say, there's a tough one here or there that takes a little bit to get going, and then they eat. But no, I've used ASFs for my babies and then switch them over to frozen thawed rats. So I don't even feed like adult ASFs. I just want the hoppers.
Right.
So, but no, my shed is it's just 8 by 10, so it's a very small area to have to heat.
Sure.
And I just insulated it like crazy, and I don't go. I mean, I go in and out of it pretty much twice a day. Turn on the light, check it, make sure all the the nozzles are good. And I'm still new, so I'm terrified of those floods. Oh, it's
right.
That is there's not much more pitiful than a sopping wet ASF shivering, looking at you, and you feeling about that big. They pulled the whole thing off, and I was like, oh my gosh, thank God I just happened to walk out there to check it. But anyway, but yeah, I'm enjoying them, and they're like I say, once I got them set up and kind of stable, they've been great. I'll need to add this summer. I'll need to add ventilation once it warms up. The winter time, and then I have to see. I'm gonna have to see what that does to my temperature stability come wintertime next year. I might have to evolve that. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do on that, but one step at a time, anyhow.
Baby steps.
That's right. Hey, it's going well right now, and we'll keep it going. Hey, let's take just a second. We're at the top of the hour. Let's pay some bills really quick, guys. I talked about REDLINE shipping earlier. Best way I could put it is they've got great prices, great service, and a great experience for their customers. It's like having a concierge with you every step of the way. Matter of fact, I checked this morning. We got warm temperatures here in Minnesota. Hey, can I ship today? We're still a little backed up in Memphis. You should hold off. Okay, that's the safe thing to do. So check out REDLINE shipping. If you haven't, use the promo code PROPER5. You're going to get an extra $5 off of your order. Shedtesting.com. You got to know Charlie, one of my favorite disruptor stories. Charlie is offering shed testing with very quick turnaround, reliable results, scientifically reliable results. And I'm here to tell you, Charlie has all kinds of new genetic tests coming available. Even if you don't see it listed on his website right now, just check with him. You can get a hold of him at shedtesting.com or at Gray Rider Reptiles on Instagram. I could tell you puzzle tests are right around the corner. Charlie absolutely has the ability and is investing the time to get these. I know they're not called genetic maps, but for lack of a layman's better terms, genetic maps. Check them out. You're going to have a great experience. Use the promo code PROPER15. He's going to give you 15% off of 2 orders. No stars, no small print. Make what you want of orders. That sounds like an opportunity to get a lot of sheds done. Go check out Charlie. He's an awesome dude. Portuguese pythons. You heard me talk about them earlier. That is Danny and Renee. Their patches are in. More importantly, their super blackhead ultramels. We were just talking about ultramel. Their super blackhead ultramel clutch just hatched, and they've got a ton of cool ultramel pied stuff on my project. My 1.3 I sourced from Danny and Renee at Portuguese Pythons. I'm proud to be aligned with them. And they sent me a cool t-shirt. I got to give it a run through the wash, but I'll probably have that on the Thursday show. Brandon Nixon You guys know Brandon. He hangs out in our community pretty often. I want to make sure I don't miss any of the projects he's working with. High quality, absolutely great ball pythons. Check out his Instagram page. High quality pictures, videos, great production quality with Brandon. That translates to his animals. The Orange Project, Sunset, Ultramel, Monarch, and Hypo. There's Ultramel again. I mean, these things, there's trends here, guys. You might want to check some of these folks out. Trevor in Aurora, Colorado. Check out Trevor at Ball Labs. Excuse me, it doesn't say Trevor on the screen anywhere. Ball Labs, that's Trevor. Trevor's been keeping ball pythons for 20 years and breeding them for 15, working puzzle, Ultramel, clown, VPI, Xanthic, tri-stripe projects. Don't tell him I told you, but he's got some monsoon, zebra, and sunset as well. And last but not least, I went and checked the very, very first sponsor, the very first. I thought maybe there was some other people. The very first sponsor. I have been collecting my shows, ripping the audio so that I can get the audio library going all the way back to episode 1. They'll be on the podcast platforms before long. But I checked. Chris at B and S Reptilia was the very, very first sponsor of Proper Royals Live. What faith you put in me. I appreciate the support for all this time. Chris at B and S Reptilia specializes in ball pythons, but so many other species as well. Blood pythons, boa constrictors, colubrids, Pichuophis, which I think are part of the Venn diagram of colubrids. I think, I'm not sure. All of those together, and he's got a variety of species, incredible knowledge, and he's also the distributor for the Chipper and the Pennsylvania area. Even if you're not in his area, but you're interested in some cocoa, give him a call. He'll either put you in touch with the right person or he'll just ship it to you. He'll take care of you one way or another. He'll get you going. Chris is also now, not now, always has been, but Chris is the guy that I've been Tinley with. We made a little deal in the past week or two that will continue well into the future. That will have Proper Royals and B and S Reptilia on the Tinley table into the future. So I'm so thankful for that. So proud to have those relationships. Take care of those sponsors, guys. Thank you for not clicking away. Those of y'all that didn't, those sponsors truly make the show possible, along with you, the audience, and our guests like Kyle. We're talking about talking to Kyle from KylesReptyles. That's Kyle Schrandt out of Baldwin, Wisconsin. Check them out on Instagram and Morph Market. You do have animals available posted on Morph Market right now, too.
We do. Got some.
Yeah. Oh, look at Troy popping in tonight. There we go. Yeah, I was just about to ask. So Troy brought it up too. Kyle, are you're vending the Cold-Blooded show in Minneapolis?
I don't think we're doing the one on the 4th.
No.
That's a new location, so I'm gonna hold back on it and just see how the location is.
Okay.
But truthfully, we usually don't vend too many winter shows anyway, just because it's so sketchy to move the animals around.
Gotcha.
So a lot of times those winter shows, we tend not to vend them. I know we vended in December. I love Emily's shows, so I'll always vend her shows, but not to say that I don't like the Minnesota shows. I like them, but since that's a new location, I'm going to hold back and see how it goes.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I was going to, you know what, let's jump into it. I put one of the topics was the Midwest shows.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember. It was at one of Emily's shows, but I'd asked her a couple times, hey, where I'll see you next? You're going to be over in Rothschild or Green Bay or La Crosse or, some of the regional circuit around. And you said, no, we kind of stay close to home. And I was like, okay. And you brought it up again about the weather. So talk to me about what attracts you to a show and where kind of shows fit into your business model.
Sure.
Where's the level of importance for you on those?
So we vend all of Emily from Snake Discovery shows. I've always vended her shows. We've always done really good at her shows. So we'll always go to those. And then we try to make it to every single Minnesota show, the Cold-Blooded show. I call it the Minnesota show because that was the first show that was regular in Minnesota. And it was such a big deal to have like a regular show that was going to happen, every couple months. So, excuse me. So that's why I call it the Minnesota show, even though it's the Cold-Blooded show. But I like to vend all those shows too. There's far more audience through the doors at those shows. But when it comes to winter, it's just too sketchy for me to want to move the animals. So I
Mhm.
tend not to do even Emily's shows. I don't even think she has shows in the winter other than the December show.
I'd say she
But
does the
after
December
that,
show. Yeah.
then I don't think she starts up again until March. Um, so that's the only reason I don't, I vend all of her shows because she usually doesn't do winter shows. But yeah, we only really vend those shows. I don't travel too far. We've done some Iowa shows, which is like a 4-hour drive. We've done
Hmm.
some in North Dakota, which is a roughly 4 or 5 hour drive. And then of course Tinley Park, like but we don't have a table at that show, and to get a table at that show unless you're vending with somebody is pretty difficult.
Yeah.
So I'll go to enjoy it. We vended in 2017, and that was fun. But it was kind of an eye opener. It's definitely different to go to a big show like that you're used to chit and chatting with everyone and seeing people you
Oh
haven't seen
yeah.
forever, having drinks, staying up late in the hotel and stuff like that. Um, it wasn't as enjoyable to vend, to be honest. Not to say that I wouldn't vend if Brian Potter calls us, hey, we got a table. It's like, yep, I got it.
Right.
But man, it's literally the only 2 dates out of the year that I get excited for is Tinley Park. I don't get excited for my birthday, any big event, none of it. I was just like, oh, cool, yes, my birthday, cool, another day to see my friends and family. But Tinley Park, like I used to, make like the little chains that the kids make, so like rip it off every day, and when you get down
Oh
to
really?
you do it. Tinley Park
Wow. Wow.
was my thing, and since having kids, we haven't been able to make many of them. But I look forward to being able to go back and bring back that, that that feeling of who it's Tinley weekend,
Yeah. Which
Yeah.
how old are your kids now? Are they old enough where you can, skip out of town for a weekend?
We're close. Our oldest one, Riley, is 4.5. Our youngest one, Remy, is turning 2 this weekend. So they're
Yeah.
not quite there, but I got to give props. Garrick DeMeyer from Royal Constrictor Designs, he's in Wausau, Wisconsin. He used to bring his kids to all the shows. I mean,
Oh,
those
did
kids
he?
would fall asleep under tables and stuff. So I really don't have that much of an excuse if but for
Well,
easy
I was
convenience.
thinking more like how much of a pass have you saved up if Adam were to swing by in the Tacoma on Friday morning heading out to
Oh,
Tinley, just have
sure.
you jump in kind of
Just have to
thing,
jump
and
in.
yeah,
That
just have a
that exact
backpack, jump
story,
in.
that exact story has kind of happened before. I
Yeah.
think not exactly that way, but my wife is a gem. She knows that I love that weekend, but we had Riley must have been young. She must have been 1 or something like that. And it was like maybe it was Wednesday or something, and she goes, "How come you haven't mentioned Tinley?" And I go, well, what do you mean? What do I have to mention? It's the Wednesday before Tinley. Don't remind me. I'm not going. And she's like, well, who said you couldn't go? I'm like,
Uh-huh.
well, so it's kind of that thing where she was like, I know this is your favorite weekend, and I
Yeah.
want you to go. Like, I got the kid, you go out. So it's kind of like this crazy thing, right? So we end up I by myself end up going to Tinley Park. My plan was just to sleep in my truck. It's just like there's no hotels available. I didn't care. I
Yeah.
was gonna go to Tinley Park. It's fun. I
Well,
ended up finding someone that had a room, and they were gracious enough to let me crash in it. But
I was just
that
say,
was
yeah,
the
if you
last
find
thing.
yourself in that position, give me a ring, man. No,
At that
serious.
point, dude, it did not matter though. It
Yeah.
was I was literally almost excited to sleep in the truck because it was just like I am in the Tinley Park, convention center parking lot. Like that's cool enough for me. I remember
Yeah.
exiting on the highway and seeing the building. There it is. Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
favorite weekend. So, not to say that if Brian called and said, "Hey, we got a table for you," I wouldn't jump on it because of course I would.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that show is just like nothing else. It's something totally different than anything else.
Have you done Daytona before?
Nope. I would like to go and
Yeah.
walk the show and see all the different the breeders that I've never seen before. But no, we've never been.
Yeah. I'm certainly not going to get in the middle of one's better than the other. I've been fortunate. I can't believe to say it out loud, but I've been fortunate enough to vend both of them. And last year, uh, one thing I do know that I miss, and it has nothing, well, I was just saying it has nothing to do with Tinley or Daytona. Actually, it puts Tinley and Daytona in the same box. You brought up a good point about the 2-day shows and the camaraderie of hanging out. You go out for dinner, you go out for drinks, you see people, and you see vendors that you may or may not talk to often, but you might not see them very often. And so you get to hang out. Believe it or not, really good business happens at those dinners and those meetings and those hangouts. Good connections happen. And I missed that in Florida. All the shows in Florida are 2-day shows. So like now they're not as often as they are up here in the Midwest. There's a ton of shows. There's a ton of vendors up here, man. And Florida, it's pretty much Repticon and then Daytona. There's some show me shows. There's like a Reptile Nation, like one-off show. And I think in West Palm kind of deal, but the Repticons were 2-day shows. So Jacksonville, Orlando and Tampa very specifically, those were like top-notch shows, just right below Daytona and Tinley caliber. Right. And Dale remembers, I mean, we would go, you get done with the show, you go do the US ARC auction right after the show, and then you go out. And I miss that up here, man. Now, to be honest, the hotels add up. They cost a little bit. To be honest, Sunday vending might take a little bit of a dive from post Saturday night behaviors. But I do miss that camaraderie, and it was magnified because I'd gotten to know all those guys. I'd gotten to know that scene. They had welcomed me in. They got me from, just the dude buying cool looking enchies and bells to like giving me guidance, and Dale let me vend with him before I ever even knew what I was doing or ever sold an animal on my own. He trusted me. So like all of that stuff was pretty close to me. And I get up here and I'm like, all right, where can we, it's a 1-day, everybody's going home. Like I got the first show I've ended up here. I got a hotel. I was like, where are we hanging out? And they're like, we're out of here, man. And I'm like, I'm stuck in Davenport alone. I don't know anybody in Davenport, man. This is and that's not that fun of a town, man.
Yeah, no, I bet not. Yeah, no, our shows are definitely pack up as quick as you can and get home. I don't think that's, if they were 2-day shows like you talk about, that obviously wouldn't really be the case, right? Because you're gonna get hotels and stay over or stuff like that. But it's funny how fast people can pack up and get out of there. Yeah,
they're just gone, man. And I was like, man. Anyway, so I missed that. All right, there we go. Oh, Jason wants to see a snake. All right, we'll do that in just a second, Jason. We will, if Kyle wants to show it off. But so I look forward to that in Tinley, and I'm lucky. A lot of those guys that I was talking about from Florida, Jeremy Bod, Dale, Steve Casino, George MD, they were at Tinley in October, but I don't know how many of them would be back. I know that Jeremy, I think Jeremy will, but I think Dale's not coming. So I might have to fly down to Daytona just for the hangout. Do what pull a Troy's. Actually, Troy, you driving or flying, man? Just asking if you need a sidekick driving. I wouldn't mind going down to Daytona this year to hang out with everybody and see everybody. So where's the next show that you do have on your books that people can see you, Kyle?
I believe it's going to be sometime in March. I'd have to look it up if you wanted exact dates, but it'll be one of the Emily's shows.
Gotcha.
I believe it's maybe in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. So Claire, Bloomington, and Hastings are the only 3 locations.
You got Hastings on March 3rd. I got a spreadsheet. Yeah. I had to make a spreadsheet of all the shows. There's so many shows and promoters, man. I got it. Right. I got it right here. That one's it's colored in green. I will be there as well, man.
Nice.
Yeah. Matter of fact. Okay. Yeah. So that is 4 shows in 5 weeks for me. I'll have. So I'll be rotating stock, obviously. So I don't.
Isn't that a blast, huh?
What's that?
Isn't that a blast?
Yeah, I kind of go back to like, even when it's a drag and I'm cleaning poo or I'm just exhausted from shows, I'm like, you know what? I didn't get my butt kicked in the restaurant tonight. I didn't have anybody yell at me about where their table was. I didn't have anybody call out because they were hungover. No, done.
Yeah.
Didn't have a, a chef make somebody cry because they made them feel puny. None of that. I'm all done with that stuff. I'm over it. I've had enough of it. No more.
Yeah.
Dale. Dale, I mean, my dad lives in Jacksonville. I got every reason to be in Florida anytime I want, man, other than just taking care of the animals around here. So I think I'm going to figure out how to make that work. So that would be a blast.
Nicer weather than up here.
Not in August.
No, it's true. Okay, if it's in August, it's probably hot, huh?
Oh my gosh, man. Look, here's the other thing about Daytona. Daytona is sort of the city, not the show, the town itself, the city itself. It's kind of the town that time forgot, man. Daytona is a little bit stuck in about 1991, somewhere in there. It's not my favorite place, and it is. Oh, it's just so hot, man. Oh my gosh, it's hot. Choice is the hotter the better. I'm looking forward to the summers up here. I've done my winter time. I'm ready for the summer up here. So Jason asked, would you be willing to show off that red stripe girl you were talking about?
Sure. The original female, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that one. The matriarch there.
So you
I'll put you on the big screen here. Yeah, Troy, I'm pretty up for that, especially if we do it fast, man. If we just go and trade off, that'd be the least amount of time away from the animals would be good. You know what I'm talking about, but that would be that'd be interesting. All right, Kyle, hang on. Let me put you on the big screen here. There we go. All right, talk us through this girl here.
So this is her. This is the original red stripe. I'm trying to see here. I don't know if you can tell. She has more of a burgundy brownish color to her than the classic red stripe. And you don't see a lot of like granite markings to her. She's actually pretty clean. There you go. That's a better view right there. But you can't really, she's a nice red stripe. You can't really tell that there's anything crazy about her. But she's red stripe. That's that. But yeah.
Very nice. I think it's a really great example of a subtle gene that, when applied in the right way, does really incredible things.
For sure.
Like, it's a nice snake, but it's not, what do we call it, the grandmother test. It's not going to stop somebody in their tracks and make them go, whoa, what is that?
Right.
But somebody took the time to see through, hey, what can we do with this gene? How can we make it work? And I have to say, I'm not great at that, just because of the patience it takes. Like, that's years of being committed to seeing something through that may or may not that one turned out to be something cool. Right. That gene.
Right. And it was completely on a whim. It's not like I just knew that red stripe was going to be the next big thing, and that was where my head was at. And I just got lucky with her having something different. And,
right.
And like I say, it doesn't detach from the red stripe. I've never produced out of any of this red stripe stock. I've never produced a granite that didn't also have red stripe. So that's why I can't definitively be like, hey, that's granite for sure, but it's visually that's what it looks like, and that's what Mike had told me. So that's how we go on. But it's just you get lucky sometimes, I guess.
What's the saying? Just as good to be lucky as it is to be good. Sometimes, I mean, screw it. Take it whatever way you could get. Right. Let me see. Troy. Yeah, the straight. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. Truck stops, quick naps. Get there, Daytona, or no sleep till Daytona kind of thing.
That's got to be like, was it like a 20-hour drive?
It is. No, it's more than that. I will tell, from Jacksonville to Minneapolis, I think it was like 26 hours, and I know that because I did it 3 times this summer with a rental van full of snakes and ARS racks. So I mean, I did it. Yeah. But Troy's a little bit closer south. but then Daytona's another hour and a half, 2 hours past Jacksonville. I peg it at 24 hours. We do trade off 8-hour shifts where they are no time. That's even a nap for both of us.
Yeah, hopefully an 8-hour nap if you guys are trading off.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it could be done. Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah. Well, Rick, that's the map thing. That doesn't take into account like you gotta pee, you gotta eat, you gotta hit a red light, yeah. Okay, so 26. That's pretty close there. Not bad. Right. Choice is 20-ish. So yeah, that'd be pretty fun. Anyhow, we'll have to see how that plays out. But yeah, I'm gonna try and get down there. I think Crystal asked if I'll be in Fond du Lac on Sunday. I will not. The next shows for that circuit I'll be doing, Crystal, is Minneapolis on the 4th, Des Moines on the 18th, Rothschild, Wisconsin on the 24th of February at the Scaled Up Exotic Show is where I'll be. A Scaled Up Expo, excuse me. Rothschild, February 24th. That's when I'll be there, Crystal. What did we did lives on the road trip. Me and Troy live in a van. Jeez, there we go. I have to be careful what I'm asking for. I've heard about his dietary habits on the road. We will, yeah. Huh. All right, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I will, that would be. We're going to, all right, Troy, here's what we're going to do. We need to raise money. People are going to have to put into the pot with super chats and all that, and they're going to fund our road trip instead of flying like two grown men that have made a little bit of money in our lives and just getting there. People can, maybe we'll do a little fundraiser or something for the road trip. Troy says no truck stop food. I'm all about efficiency. I want to get in and get out, man. Just give me a good Wawa, man.
Yeah, that's a smart decision.
Truck stop strip club. That, I'm not going to tell some of those stories. And when I drove up here, I was like, and I did another road trip this summer, but I was like, you know what? There's all these truck stops. I'm just by myself. It's plenty nice out. I'll just sleep in the truck. And so I started stopping and sleeping at truck stops, and man, there's a whole like world at the truck stops. And like some of the things that I thought were just like urban legends or stereotypes, I was like, oh my gosh, there it is. Real. It's happening. It's real. It's happening. I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to, Troy and I are going to discuss this on February 4th. We'll see. We'll think about it for 2 weeks and decide if this is any good. The lot lizards, Jason, are exactly what they didn't come knocking to my door. No, Rick, but you could certainly see entrepreneurial business going on in a variety of places at the TA truck stop in New Jersey this summer. I was like, wow, how can I sleep at a time like this? This is not good. Road trip fun. There we go. Now we're talking. Kyle, what did we miss, man? What do people have to know about you? What do you got coming up this year that they need to look out for you?
We're trying to excel on projects that we've built up. So we're just, that's our goal for every pairing, is to just produce something that we've strived for. So we're looking at more Cypress clown stuff, Wookiee clown stuff, black pastel, hypo clown combo stuff, genetic stripe clowns. I'm looking at a list here, if you couldn't tell.
That's how people ask me, and I'm like, I don't know. Let me look.
Yeah, I got a whole list of this. Yeah, I'll forget. Desert Ghost clown hats. I'm still so far behind on that project, so we're holding back every female we get, I think.
Okay.
Provided we get a clip. We have a Killer Blast Desert Ghost female that has been bred to our Magma male. This will be the 3rd season in a row, I believe. and she's yet to give us a clutch, and she's massive. So she needs to happen.
Yeah, she's got to pay some rent, man. I got a pinstripe ultramel like that. She's huge. I mean, it's the size of my fist around, and she stares at me. Doesn't lock. Has follicles. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, help us out here. Help us out.
Yeah, Troy has the solution to your troubles. Just go, as if it's for sale, but just go buy that triple over there.
Yeah, Troy's got good ideas.
I mean, I'm sure a simple mortgage on the house would smooth everything over. Everything would.
I say Joe and Sheena are really nice people, but I don't think they're gonna let me get that for the price I can afford. So.
Yeah, I did not make them an offer on that animal.
Nope.
Oh man. Oh yeah, Troy, have you been to a Buc-ee's before? Oh man, this is becoming a whole different episode. What?
I've heard of those.
Buc-ee's. Oh my gosh, it's 45 minutes of your life you'll never get back, and that's if you can even get gas there, man. Anyway, that's going way off the rails on a different topic. But all right, well, thank you all very, very much. I didn't expect to be actually legitimately raising road trip money, but I guess that means that we have to. I got to figure out how to go to Daytona. Yeah, Chris says he was not impressed at Buc-ee's. Yeah. Anyhow, Kyle, thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I've wanted to make this happen since I got to town here. Thank you for the welcome in person. Thanks for the cool camaraderie and community in person. Thanks for coming on the show. Thank you. It's been a cool experience here in Minnesota, and you've been a part of that. So I want to say thanks very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you having me on here, and I look forward to seeing you at more local shows.
Definitely. I'll be there. And then I think we mentioned it. Oh, and your links and description are down in the description for people as well. But where can people check your stuff out at? Give us the promo and take us home here.
We post everything that we have available and other cool pictures that we decide to post on our Facebook page, which is KylesReptyles LLC. Reptiles is with the Y instead of the I because of the Kyle. We post on Instagram, and then we have a morph market as well. Admitting a morph market probably isn't as up to date as our availability stuff on social media is, but you can find us at all three of those places. Very cool. Again, links are down in the description, guys. Go check out Kyle's Reptiles next week with Jared from Jaw Dropping Morphs, and I will see everybody except for Kyle at the February 4th show in Minneapolis. I might go. I don't know. Yeah, unless me and Troy guilt him into being there. Audience, thanks for hanging out. It was fun tonight. I was trying to keep up with two different conversations going on. We'll see where this trip pans out. Thanks for hanging out. I will see you guys next time, same place, same time. Kyle, hang out in the green room for just a second. I will see you all. Cheers, everybody.